All right. So, hi, my name is Megan Miller, and thanks so much for joining us on this Healthy Revolution call. We are part of a community that loves to inspire and encourage everyone to live their best life, whether that be mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever your journey may be. So I just thought, I know a lot of you are, well, all of you are muted, so you can't really speak up on this, but I would think that most of you would agree that in this day, that it is hard to live a healthy life. We are constantly on the go. Quick and easy is kind of the answer, and a lot of times quick and easy is not very nutritional, and we don't get the things that we need. So I thought I would just jump right in. I want to be respectful of everybody's time and just kind of go right into it. I don't know if you know this, but we are supposed to eat 9 to 13 fruits, veggies, berries, you name it, but plants a day. And I don't know about you guys, but I know that I don't even eat 9 to 13 servings a day. So if you all want to make a fist and then look at that, it's 9 to 13 of those a day in fruits and veggies, and that can be very difficult. So I want to tell you just a little bit about myself and where my journey started. I am a mother to two kiddos, a 12-year-old boy that is living out his first year in middle school, and a 7-year-old daughter that is in second grade. I'm also a yoga instructor, and rewind for a while. When my 12-year-old was about a year old, the first entire year of his life, we lived ear infection after ear infection after ear infection. We were on multiple antibiotics, you name it, Augmentin, whatever the other one, amoxicillin, to the point of where we were doing like Rocephin shots because it was that bad. And finally, right after he turned a year old, his pediatrician recommended tubes, and we did that. At that time, a family member that's a nurse practitioner at that time said, have you taken a look at his diet? And I was like, thanks, Eddie, but no. And I dismissed that information. Fast forward a few more years, and I was going through my yoga teacher training, and a friend of mine, she was a young mama of two, had been diagnosed with RA, and I had my second child at that time who was suffering from constipation. We had a Miralax prescription for as needed. We were all on Singulair as a family. My daughter had an albuterol prescription, and we literally were a slave to the nebulizer because she had allergy-induced asthma. And we were living the normal life, but what I now have found out is not normal. It's usual, and it's a thing that we all live with, but it's not necessarily how we have to live. So thankfully, this friend that I had gone through yoga teacher training with said to me, have you heard about fruits and veggies in a capsule? And I was like, yeah, actually, but it had been years ago. And so she said, I would love for you to take a look at this and just see, what your thoughts are. So I thought at that time that I was like the fittest that I'd ever been. I even said to someone today, like, I wish my body looked like it did when I was going through my yoga teacher training, but I really wasn't. So even though we may look fit on the outside, it doesn't really necessarily mean that our insides are healthy. And I went home and I took a look at the research that was on this fruits and veggies in a capsule. And I saw that there was lots of research. It was published in medical journals. And I just thought, okay, I'll take a look at it. So she recommended to me, and just because I have it right here, I thought I would show it to you guys. So it's in a bottle, and it is fruits, barely you can see it, fruits, veggies, berries in a capsule, and gummies also. And she said, well, go home and take a look at it, and if you place an order, you can get a child at no cost. And I had two kiddos at that time. Well, or still, that's what I have is two kiddos. So anyway, I did take a look at that, but I also saw, once I was looking at it, that MD Anderson Cancer Institute had done a study on Juice Plus, which is what we're talking about, Juice Plus, and had given it to their stage 4 ovarian cancer survivor. And at that time, I had not really thought about it, but I have a huge family history of breast cancer. And so I thought, well, this has got to be the real deal. So here I am now, almost 4 years later, for saying yes to fruits and veggies because I was like, sign me up. And literally, we were out of our singular when I said yes to it. But I said, all y'all keep telling me that it's going to improve my allergies, so I'm not refilling my prescription. And here we are 4 years later, and I haven't refilled a allergy medication. And we have not done a breathing treatment, and we have not needed Miralax anymore with my kiddos because things move a lot more smoother when you add in fruits and veggies. So we, just to tell you a little bit about the product, it's fruits and veggies in a capsule or gummy form. It is 30 plants in the 3 blend, and we also have a plant-based omega, which is super awesome because we don't have to have our fish burps. But another thing that is my favorite product is the Juice Plus Complete. It literally, when it comes in the mail and my mailman arrives, I'm like, thank you to my dealer. It has arrived. So I love the Complete. I'm serious. I love it. And it comes in big bags like that or single serves for on the go. And my favorite thing also about all of the products is that they all have a nutrition label. So this does not have a supplement fact. This is made out of whole foods. And so back to my story, I realized, like I said, that I was healthy on the outside, but not necessarily on the inside, and that I was living a life of processed food. And we were on the go, and we wanted to just do last minute things. And I'm not saying that there aren't times that I still am like, put the frozen pizza in the oven and like, let's rock and roll. But as a mom, I'm so happy at the end of the day, and I have peace of mind knowing that my kiddos get 30 fruits, veggies, berries, and other plants in the Complete because we love that too. So I think that's really all I need to say about the product and my story. But we are just the healthiest that we have ever been now. I joke all the time that Juice Plus is kind of the gateway drug in the house because now we have just really made a lifestyle change over the last 4 years. But the other thing I want to say before I turn it over to Stacy is because everybody is always like, how much does Juice Plus cost? Of course, that's the question that everybody always asks. And I will say that when I first heard about it, we were on one income. And my husband traveled Monday through Friday, and I was not getting rich teaching yoga classes. So for any of you that are on here, if you're a fitness instructor, you know that the dollar bills are not flying. And I was like, how in the world can I work this into our budget? And the same girlfriend that shared that with me said, I would love for you just to kind of take a look at the business. It may or may not be for you, but take a look at it. And I just for a second had a little bit of an open mind, and I took a look at it, and I've never looked back. I've just ran with it, and I just trusted the process, and thankfully it covered the cost of our product. But I want to say, the business has just been the best thing in my life. And it has just brought a community of women into my life that have really empowered me, have encouraged me and pushed me at times when I needed to be pushed to just be the best that I could be, because they really wanted to see that for me. And with that, I didn't realize at the time that I was missing out on friendships. And I was a stay-at-home mom. As a stay-at-home mom, my husband traveled all the time, and I became resentful. I just want to be transparent here. I became resentful. My husband was gone Monday through Friday, staying in hotels while I was like putting 2 kiddos to bed. And I just was like, ugh, you know, and it was such a blessing when she shared this business with me. So now my husband is home. He works in town. I mean, by home, he didn't quit his job, but he is at home and not traveling anymore. And we knew that this has been the biggest blessing for us. We knew in order for him to not travel anymore, that he was going to need to take a pay cut. And I was able to grow my business while still being room mom to both kiddos and making every field trip and doing all the things that I wanted to still do and be present in my kids' life, but also let my husband, do his dream job and not worry about the pay. So I'm going to turn this over to Stacy because I have talked well enough now. And I hope that just something of my story touched you guys, but I'm going to turn it over to Stacy and she's just going to talk to you about the business. And thank you guys for letting me share with you.
Thank you, Megan. I can second just about everything that Megan said. And my journey with Juice Plus actually started with the business first, not the product. I went on a jog with a friend of a friend who was telling me about fruits and veggies in a capsule. And what she didn't know until I shared a little bit with her is that my husband and I had a chiropractic office, and we were looking for some type of supplement to have in our office. And I was working in corporate America at the time, and I was the one that traveled and such, but we knew that we needed some kind of supplement in our office because patients were coming in and asking, do you have this, do you have that, etc. But my husband, being the skeptic, and that he's like, people need to get it from what they're eating, and he hates supplements. He's the kind of guy that doesn't even take a Tylenol when he has a headache. And so he was researching what was the cleanest, best thing out there, and he hadn't even heard of Juice Plus yet. So when I came back and I said, well, hey, I met this girl, and she said, it's fruits and veggies in a capsule. It's not a supplement. It's actually nutrition, and it's backed by research. And he just rolled his eyes at me. And I was like, well, she's really, really nice, and she goes to our church, and I already told her yes, so you got to tell her no. Because I didn't want to tell her no, that she couldn't come talk. He's like, well, fine, I'll listen to her, have her come talk, and bring the research. And so, he's a doctor. He wants to make sure that what he is recommending to his patients and his family is clean and good. And so he immediately tried to disprove that the research wasn't good research. He went to the back to show that it was borrowed, etc. And he's like, wait, this stuff is legit, and it's tested by, really reputable companies. And it says it's fruits and veggies in a capsule. And so we said yes that day to the business and the product. And we knew we weren't getting enough fruits and vegetables. And we knew that it would only help people better, or help people be better and feel better and heal better if they had this foundation. So this was 4 years ago. I was traveling corporate America, 6-figure income, and I felt trapped. I didn't like my job anymore because of the restructuring and downsizing and things of that sort. And I didn't like traveling all the time. And here we had this business that we were trying to grow. That was our family business. And I had the opportunity to step away from that. I realized that Juice Plus was my plan B. And I wish I could sit here and say, hey, I've already replaced that 6-figure income with my Juice Plus. No, it's not there yet, but it's going that direction, and it will continue to go that direction. But it gave me that hope. It gave me that community like Megan was talking about. And it gave me that plan B to be able to step away from corporate America so that when the opportunity presented itself where they wanted to severance me out, I could say yes. And then I could stay home and work in our family business and grow Juice Plus and be with my kids in that. So it has been nothing but a blessing for us, along with the health benefits. But, you've heard from Megan and I, who've both been in the business about the same amount of time, both had great health results with our families. We've had great business experiences with our teams growing, our business growing. But I want now for Mary to share with you, because Mary is new to the business, new with her health journey, and she has a phenomenal story of how Juice Plus has been helping her, and it's all the more reason why so many people say yes. So Mary, take it away.
Okay. So my name is Mary. I think I know some of y'all, but not all of you. I'm trying to make my story quick because it's kind of long. Um, a year ago this week, I was diagnosed with MS, and it was a scary time. A few days after I got the diagnosis, Megan invited me to a health talk where Debbie Walton was talking, doing her Stronger for Life talk. And no one in the room knew about the news that I had just recently gotten. And Debbie gave two different testimonials about customers of hers who had MS and the positive things that they had experienced while on Juice Plus. So some people would think that's just a coincidence, but I know that God had me in that room for a reason, and He gave me the chance to experience this as a way of providing for me. So I heard the news. I couldn't afford it, and so I told Megan, thanks, I'll let you know if I change my mind, but I can't do this right now. My neurologist had scheduled me for a treatment that was supposed to be like a month later, a very strong immunosuppressant. Fast forward to June, I went for a checkup and found out that my body had not responded to the medication at all, which was one of the strongest drugs that was on the system for what I have. And so she said there was nothing to do at the time. I was just going to have to wait the medicine out because it was supposed to stay in my system for 6 months, and that I would have another MRI in September. And based on what that looked like, she may or may not want to do a biopsy. So I'm not a doctor, and I don't pretend to be, but I do know that there's no way to get a piece of my brain for a biopsy without opening up my skull, which is terrifying. So I talked to my husband, and I was like, I really want to try this because why not? I really don't want a biopsy, so let's just, if you're okay with it, let's just try anything we can to keep that from happening. So the only change that I made in my day-to-day life was adding a Trio and Omega blend and a whole lot of prayer. And then we got to September, and I had my next MRI. And not only did it look better, but the spot that she was most concerned about was completely gone. So at that point, I was sold, and I said, I'm never going to stop taking this, and ended up joining the business so that I could afford to stay on the product for the rest of my life. So I know that story doesn't necessarily match everyone's life, because if you don't have MS, then that may not be relatable to you. But it was a miracle in our life, my life and my husband, and it was just awesome. So my kids also started on the gummies in June when I started on the capsules, and we have survived a stomach virus outbreak, a strep outbreak. Our school has been closed for the flu for the last, Friday and Monday, and my kids have not shown any symptoms, which is awesome. So it has allowed me to be on the type of immunosuppressants that I am on, to not have to be scared to go out in public, to go to church, to go to the grocery store. I don't worry about catching anything and everything. So it's been amazing, and the business has been great. It has allowed me to provide the products for myself and my boys, who are 7 and 10 and involved in everything you could possibly imagine. So we're busy, and I just posted on the page, I think a couple days ago, a mom victory for me was my 10-year-old, which both of my kids don't like vegetables. They don't. But my 10-year-old ate actual vegetables, like not just his gummies, but actual vegetables 3 times last week, and even said he kind of sort of liked the spaghetti squash. So we've had that like 4 times since then, just to get him to eat it. So also, the business has been great. It has introduced me to a community of women like Megan and Stacy both have said that are awesome, encouraging, there for you. It's just been great. So that's my story.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it so much. So we're going to just close this out. And one, like Mary said, there may not be a story that you could definitely, you may say, well, I don't have kids and I'm not worried about them being sick, or, you know, whatever it may be, you may not identify with each of these stories that were shared here tonight. However, you may know somebody that it does, you know, or you may have thought of someone, or you may just think, you know what, I don't eat enough fruits and veggies, period. And obviously this stuff is the real deal. It's backed by research. It has the NSF certification. It goes through every testing to make sure it's clean. And yes, that sounds great. So I just want to leave you with a few things. Like we said, this is a community that really, really works to inspire healthy living around the world. We are about healthy living and healthy giving. And when we give, that's our love and our support. And we want to meet everyone right where they are and help them get to where they dream to be, wherever that is. So if you are looking for a community of, you know, friends and people to love on you, we would love for you to, you know, lock arms with us and join us on this mission. But there are a few options that I would like to give you. So when you leave tonight, you have the tools that you need to make a decision, because now you can't unknow this information. Now you know that you've heard that plants are good for you. You've heard an easy way to get more plants. So here's your option. So the first option is get with the person that invited you on this call. First of all, say thank you for sharing this information with me, and ask them how you can make one simple change by incorporating more fruits and veggies into your diet. The second is, if you've heard you know, something on this call and you think, man, I would really like to share this with others, it's $50. That's something we forgot to say on this call. It's $50 to own your own franchise, and you can order from yourself, and that is awesome. And you can share it with others, and if they want to order, you can submit their order as well. The third option is, if you kind of think, wow, I would like a little side hustle and some money in my pocket, and you know, to cover the product or whatever that may be, take that $50 and like 30 to 60 more minutes and like, let's talk about this and how it can be done. Or if you're like Stacy and really looking for a career change, that's an option as well. So whatever that may be, just think about it. And yeah, that's it. We just hope that we've, you know, inspired you and touched your heart in some way, because that's ultimately the goal here, is to just love on others. So thanks you guys so much, and I hope that you have a great night.